Welcome back. March 6th. Today, it's a twofer. Two great things today. You have white chocolate cheesecake day, and you have Oreo cookie day. Both on the same day, imagine. So we're going to take both those things and put them together and make a white chocolate Oreo cheesecake. Never done this one before. Just taking a bunch of different ideas from different recipes and throwing them all together. And we're going to see what we come up with. I think we're really going to try to go over the top with this. Only because you know white chocolate, if you've been following. White chocolate is my thing. That's my favorite chocolate, even though it's not chocolate. I don't care. Haters, we're doing white chocolate. Alright? So I have all my stuff laid out here. This is kind of a variation on that pistachio one we did last week or the week before. Just changing around some of the ingredients, but I really love the consistency of that pistachio cheesecake, that creamy Jersey diner consistency. So we're going to do the same thing, but change around some of the ingredients to fit what we're doing today. Alrighty, there's our stuff. Let's get started. Okay, for our crust today, we need Oreo cookies and 5 tablespoons of melted, unsalted butter. Okay, got our food processor out and our Oreo cookies. First thing we're going to do today is make our crust, because we want to do like we did with our banana cream pie. We're going to mix our butter and our cookie crumbs together, press it into our spring form to make our crust, and then we're going to refrigerate it so it'll harden back up while we're making our cheesecake filling. And then it'll go in the oven. But it's going to be a fast kind of process today, so I already got my oven going 350. Alrighty, so food processor, we're going to need 2.5 cups of crushed Oreos. I'm using double stuff. You can use any kind you like. I wouldn't do the flavored ones unless you want to add whatever flavor that is into your white chocolate cheesecake. Like, you could probably use the mint ones if you wanted that little bit of mint with your white chocolate. I don't know if that works for you or not. Alrighty, so pick what you like and then just crush them into your food processor until you have 2.5 cups. Okay, and then you take your 5 tablespoons of melted butter and you put that with your Oreo crumbs. Okay, and you just mix that all together. Okay, and then once that's mixed, into our spring form. Now remember, my trick that I do when I'm pressing it is I use one of my measuring cups and I just kind of press it around and go around and try to build up a nice side, a nice even side and a bottom. This way too it doesn't stick to your hands when you're trying to do this. Okay, so there's our crust. All, it's kind of dark to see against this gray. All pressed in. Into the fridge till it rehardens, about 10 minutes or so. We're going to get started on our cheesecake filling. Okay, and for our filling today we need 6 blocks of room temperature cream cheese, 5 room temperature eggs, a can of sweetened condensed milk, 14 ounces, and 2 boxes of white chocolate flavored Jell-O instant pudding. Okay, on to our filling. So what we're doing is our 6 blocks of room temperature cream cheese first into our mixer bowl. We got out the KitchenAid for this. We're going to add our 2 packages of the white chocolate flavored Jell-O pudding. Now, we're really going to white chocolate this thing later. I'm kind of saving that for a surprise. I don't want to tell you about that yet. But I found this brand of white chocolate flavored Jell-O and I thought, oh, let's give that a try since it's a white chocolate cheesecake anyway, and we'll see. Because we're going to throw some Oreos in here and all kinds of stuff. So you do that with your pudding mixes and your can of sweetened condensed milk. Okay? So obviously, like with the other cheesecake, you don't need to add any sugar to this cheesecake. I mean, the sweetened condensed milk and the pudding mix is going make it sweet enough all on its own. Plus you got an Oreo crust. Plus we're going to have some Oreos in this. Plus I'm going to white chocolate the heck out of this thing later. You'll see. So you don't need to add any sugar. Alrighty, so those are our 3 filling ingredients. The only thing we're missing is our eggs, which we're going to add one at a time once this gets incorporated. Okay, so do this first, and then we'll take it from there. Okay, so once you see that first 3 ingredients are mixed, now we're going to add our eggs one at a time. Okay, let each one get incorporated before you add the next one. You don't want to just dump them all in at once. I generously wrapped with foil our springform pan. Remember, you have to wrap the bottom of that because it will leak in your oven if you don't. Okay, our filling is already here. You can see it's a nice thick filling. Okay, see our nice thick filling, white chocolate filling. Okay, so we're going to put that into our pan here. Okay, there's our cheesecake filling in our pan, in our water bath, wrapped real nice on the bottom. It's going into our 350 oven for about 45 minutes to an hour. Again, baking, always keep your eye on it. You want it till it's just almost set and still a little jiggly in the middle, okay? Let's go. See you in a little while. Okay, so there's our cheesecake, beautiful, out of our springform. Came out great. I put it on a wire rack to cool. It's been cooling for a little while, so it's definitely soft to the touch. Now, or cool to the touch. Now we're going to make our topping for this, which I told you I was going to surprise you with, okay? So we have 2 cups of heavy cream on the stove that's warming up for us. We just want it to come to a simmer. Don't boil it, don't burn it, don't scorch it, just a simmer. And we're going to put in our bowl white chocolate chips because it is white chocolate cheesecake day, okay? So let me do that, I'll be right back. So I put about a bag and a half of these white morsels, chocolate morsels, in our mixer bowl, so about 18 ounces. And I have 2 cups of heavy cream here. What we're going to do, we've made our chocolate ganache before. We're doing the same thing but with a white chocolate rather than the dark. So I hope it works out okay. I don't know if the sugar consistency will make it thinner or thicker, but we have extra chocolate in case we need to thicken it up a bit. Alrighty, so you just put your mixer on low. You start to pour your warmed heavy cream into this bowl. It'll start to melt the chocolate. Start it on low. And it'll start to mix the warm cream with the chocolate and melt everything down. Okay, so a little bit at a time. As we learned, you learned, the ratio for this ganache is not the same for white chocolate. So what I wound up doing was dumping the whole rest of the second bag, so 2 bags, 2 12-ounce bags of white chocolate and only about a cup of the warm or the hot heavy cream. Leave the other cup out because it started to get a little too liquidy. So I added the more chips and didn't add the rest of the cream, and it came out better to what I was looking for. Okay, so now we have our white chocolate ganache, and we're just going to pour this over this whole thing. Okay, look at that. I mean, can you imagine? Just let it run down. Like a nice smooth layer, if possible. All on its own without having to spread it. And that looks pretty good, I'll tell you. There you go. So it's all smoothed out. I'm not going to smooth it or touch it or do anything. I'm going to pop this thing right into the refrigerator. This is all going to harden back up, and we're going to have this nice white chocolate outer covering on our cheesecake. And we're going to try this one in a couple hours when it's all hardened back up. Alrighty, see you in a few. Okay, so there's our cheesecake. Out of the fridge. We're going to see how we did here. It seemed like we had a couple glitches along the way. The crust wasn't as firm as I had hoped. It seemed a little, and it still does, a little, I don't know, like wet. It's not really a dry crust. I don't know if there was maybe too much butter or something. I mean, you could still eat it. I mean, it's just a question of it's not as hard and crunchy crust as I had hoped. But anyway, the cheesecake looks really good, doesn't it? Looks nice and moist. Let's see. Give ourselves a taste here. Oh yeah. Again, has that diner consistency. Love it. It's really good. Just something different. The white chocolate, you can kind of pick up the white chocolate flavor in the cheesecake, but then again, don't forget we poured the white chocolate over the top. Again, why I said you don't need to add extra sugar to this thing, because that's between the crust and that chocolate over the top, it sweetens it up perfectly. So it's not overly sweet. Alrighty. 2 for 1 today. White chocolate cheesecake and Oreos combined to make one dessert. Alrighty? See you tomorrow.